The ancient Celts lived in deep communion with the natural world. Their lives were deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the earth, the cycles of the moon, and the changing seasons. Every element of nature held a sacred significance, from the towering trees to the smallest streams. The Celts believed that every part of the natural world was imbued with spirit and life, and they sought to live in harmony with these forces. Their spirituality, much like that of the Druids, was intricately woven into the fabric of the forests, rivers, and skies that surrounded them. The Druids, as the spiritual leaders of the Celts, were the keepers of this sacred knowledge. They understood the language of the trees, the songs of the rivers, and the whispers of the wind. Through their deep connection with nature, they guided their communities in rituals and ceremonies that honored the earth and its cycles. Nature wasn't merely a backdrop to their lives, it was the very source of their beliefs, practices, and understanding of the cosmos. The Celts saw the world as a living, breathing entity, with every rock, tree, and river holding its own spirit and story. This worldview fostered a deep respect for the environment and a commitment to preserving the natural balance. To truly grasp the essence of Druidic and Celtic spirituality, we must step outside the confines of structures and immerse ourselves in the living sanctuary of the natural world. It is in the quiet of the forest, the flow of the river, and the rustle of the leaves that we can begin to understand the profound connection the Celts had with nature. By walking in their footsteps, we can reconnect with the earth and find a deeper sense of peace and belonging. The Celts perceived the divine in the rustling leaves, the murmuring streams, and the majestic oaks that graced their sacred groves. They believed that the gods and spirits of nature were present in these places, offering guidance, protection, and wisdom. Sacred groves were places of worship and reflection, where the Celts could commune with the divine and seek answers to their deepest questions. They understood the interconnectedness of all things, recognizing the delicate balance that held the natural world in harmony. This understanding was central to their spirituality, as they believed that any disruption to this balance could have far-reaching consequences. The Celts practiced sustainable living, taking only what they needed from the earth and giving back through rituals and offerings. This profound reverence for nature permeated every aspect of their lives, shaping their worldview and their interactions with the world around them. From their art and music to their laws and social structures, the Celts' deep connection with nature was evident. By embracing the wisdom of the Celts and Druids, we can learn to live more harmoniously with the natural world and rediscover the sacredness of the earth. Central to Druidic and Celtic spirituality were the sacred groves known as nematons. These were not mere collections of trees, but hallowed spaces where the veil between the physical and spiritual realms thinned. Within these groves, the Celts believed, resided powerful spirits and deities. The very air seemed to hum with ancient energy, inviting contemplation, reverence, and connection with the divine. Nematons were chosen with care, often situated in locations possessing a palpable sense of peace and power. Perhaps a grove was nestled beside a spring bubbling forth from the earth, or perhaps it stood atop a hill, offering a panoramic view of the surrounding lands. These sacred spaces served as open-air temples, where Druids led rituals, performed divinations, and imparted their wisdom to eager initiates. The Druids held a revered position within Celtic society, acting as intermediaries between the people and the other world. They were the keepers of sacred knowledge, well versed in the mysteries of the natural world, the movements of the stars, and the ancient lore passed down through generations. Their wisdom encompassed not only spiritual matters, but also practical skills such as healing, astronomy, and law. The Druids' understanding of the natural world ran deep. They studied the medicinal properties of plants, the cycles of the moon, and the language of the animals. Their knowledge was not confined to books and scrolls, but was acquired through direct experience and observation of the intricate workings of nature. They understood that true wisdom lay not in dominating nature, but in living in harmony with its rhythms and cycles. The rhythm of the earth rituals and the turning wheel of the year. Druidic and Celtic spirituality was deeply intertwined with the cycles of nature. The turning of the seasons, the waxing and waning of the moon, the ebb and flow of the tides, all were seen as manifestations of the divine dance of creation and dissolution. To honor these cycles and to align themselves with the rhythms of the cosmos, the Celts celebrated a series of seasonal festivals known as the Wheel of the Year. These festivals marked key points in the agricultural calendar, such as planting and harvest, as well as significant astronomical events like the solstices and equinoxes. Each festival held its own unique significance, offering opportunities for reflection, celebration, and connection with the divine forces at play in the world. Samhain and Beltane, marking the mysteries of life, death, and rebirth. Two of the most important festivals in the Celtic calendar were Samhain and Beltane. These festivals were not just mere celebrations, they were deeply rooted in the spiritual and agricultural lives of the Celtic people. They represented the duality of existence, the balance between light and dark, life and death. Celebrated on October 31st, Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the dark half of the year. It was a time to honor the ancestors and the spirits of the dead. The Celts believed that during Samhain, the boundary between the living world and the spirit world was at its thinnest, allowing for easier communication with those who had passed on. It was a time when the veil between the worlds was believed to be at its thinnest, allowing for communication with the dead and divination of the future. People would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off roaming spirits. Divination rituals were performed to gain insights into the coming year, seeking guidance and protection from the otherworldly beings. Beltane, celebrated on May 1st, marked the beginning of summer and the light half of the year. This festival was a vibrant celebration of life, fertility, and the renewal of nature. It was a time when the earth was bursting with new life and the days were growing longer and warmer. It was a time of fertility, growth, and abundance, celebrated with bonfires, maypoles, and rituals to ensure a bountiful harvest. People would dance around the maypole, a symbol of fertility, and jump over bonfires to purify themselves and promote fertility. The festivities were filled with joy, music, and dance, reflecting the exuberance of the season. These two festivals, one associated with death and the other with life, beautifully illustrate the Celtic understanding of the cyclical nature of existence, a continuous dance of death and rebirth, decay and renewal. The Celts saw life as a series of cycles, each phase leading into the next with no true end. This profound connection to the natural world and its rhythms is a testament to their deep respect for the mysteries of life, death, and rebirth. A legacy woven in nature, Druidic influence on daily life. The Druidic reverence for nature wasn't confined to sacred groves and seasonal festivals. It permeated every aspect of daily life. The Celts lived in close-knit communities, their homes often built with natural materials like wood, thatch, and stone. They possessed a deep respect for the land, understanding that their survival depended upon living in balance with the natural world. This respect extended to all creatures, great and small. Animals were not merely seen as resources, but as fellow beings deserving of respect and compassion. The Celts believed that animals possessed spirits and could teach valuable lessons about the mysteries of life. They incorporated animal symbolism into their art, clothing, and storytelling, recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. Echoes of the Ancient Ones, the modern Druidic revival. This revival is not just a fleeting trend, but a profound reconnection with the earth and its ancient wisdom. While the Druids of old left behind no written records, their legacy lived on in the hearts and minds of the people, passed down through generations in the form of folklore, myths, and traditions. These stories, often told around fires or during communal gatherings, kept the spirit of the Druids alive, even as the world around them changed. In the 18th century, a resurgence of interest in Druidic spirituality began to take root, fueled by a growing fascination with ancient cultures and a desire to reconnect with nature. This period saw the birth of modern Druidic orders, where scholars and enthusiasts alike sought to revive and reconstruct the ancient practices. They delved into historical texts, archaeological findings, and the remnants of oral traditions to piece together a coherent understanding of Druidry. This modern Druidic revival continues to flourish today, with individuals and groups around the world embracing the core tenets of Druidry: reverence for nature, honoring the cycles of life, and seeking wisdom from the ancient ways. Modern Druids gather in sacred groves, celebrate the solstices and equinoxes, and perform rituals that honor the earth and its many gifts. They strive to live sustainably, recognizing the interconnectedness of all life and the importance of preserving the natural world for future generations. Modern Druids may not possess the same social standing as their ancient counterparts, but they share a deep commitment to living in harmony with the earth and honoring the sacredness of all life. They engage in practices such as meditation, herbalism, and eco-friendly living, all aimed at fostering a deeper connection with the natural world. Through their actions and beliefs, modern Druids continue to keep the ancient spirit of Druidry alive, adapting it to the needs and challenges of the contemporary world.